This video is for the second smiley face trick that we've learned, and it's for repetition for effect. As you can see by this guy here who's working out, repetition for effect in writing often mimics what we want to do if we are working out or lifting weights. You have to sometimes lift multiple weights, multiple reps, in order to get the desired effect. Well, the same is true for writing here. Writers often repeat specially chosen words or phrases in order to make a point to stress certain ideas for the reader. So in your composition notebook, you are going to want to find the next blank page. This is smiley face trick number 2, so that's your title. And this trick is repetition for effect. So go ahead and copy down this definition. This is the technical definition. And then whenever you are finished, we will be ready to move on to the next slide. Okay, this is the student example. This is a former student of mine's actual introduction to a narrative piece of writing. You will notice that the repetition for effect in this piece is highlighted in red and underlined. So I'll read it out loud and then explain why he chose to repeat what he did. My life has been full of empty promises, promises that are not kept, promises that are not sincere, promises that give me an unbelievable amount of false hope. I've learned to persevere through disappointment and succeed in times of adversity. My father was a guy I loved with all my heart. My father was a guy I trusted with everything. When he and my mom got divorced, he got on his knees, at my eye level, and promised he would always be there, promised he would coach my basketball teams, promised he would still be dad. So you notice that the repetition for effect here actually happens in multiple ways. One, yes, the word promises is what is repeated. But he decided to repeat promises because that was the theme of his essay. He wanted to get across that these were promises made that were then broken, and that's the effect it had. You also notice that not only is it repeated back to back here, but it's also repeated at the end of the introduction. Repetition for effect can be right after each other, like here, promises, 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 or it can also occur during we state it up here, and then again we state it at the end. So repetition for effect is either repeating a single word, a phrase, or an idea, and it can happen in succession, like here, or it can also happen throughout the essay, as in the beginning here and at the end. So we're going to take a look at some pictures here, and these are going to be your inspiration. Now, you can be as creative as you want here. I've had people write from the cat's perspective. I've had people write from the wall's perspective. We've even had someone do the fan. We've even had stories written between the cat talking to the finger, the cat talking to the dog talking to the cat, or vice versa. But what you're going to want to do is try and write a little scenario. It can be a made-up story. You can be trying to describe something that's going on. But you are going to describe something about these pictures, or just one of them, and you are going to try and work in repetition for effect. For additional practice, you might also want to use repetition for effect and a hyphenated modifier. When you complete this, come show me so that I can make sure that you have all of your points in your composition notebook. And always, come see me if this is still confusing.